Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. If you are new here, my name is Kieko and I like to talk about cultural things and just my life experiences in general, and today I thought it would be good to talk about making friends overseas. So for those who don't know me, I am from London and I have lived in Singapore, Japan, and now I'm living in Hong Kong. I've been living here for around 4.5 years. This is a topic that I've wanted to discuss for a while and now I've made a few points. I think this video is going to be pretty long, so make sure you're like relaxed and have tea or something. I think when you move overseas alone without your friends or family and you leave them behind, you are opening this new chapter in your life and you're stepping out from your comfort zone, and because of that I think it's really crucial to make friends overseas just so that you feel less lonely and you have things to do besides work, and yeah, you just feel safe. I think if you are moving to another country as a student, it will be a different experience. I would say that it would be a lot easier because you are gonna have like classmates and you are surrounded by many people in your school or university. But I'm mainly going to be talking about moving overseas as an expat and trying to make friends as an expat. So I would say it's quite challenging to make friends with locals, especially because there might be a language barrier or cultural differences. It's also quite hard to align your path and journey with others, especially if they're not very understanding and they are not in similar situations as you are. They might not really know where you are coming from and how you are dealing with situations. Another thing that might be quite challenging is people already have their friendship groups or circles, so it might be really hard for you to squeeze yourself into that friendship circle. So yes, in terms of making friends, there's definitely going to be a lot of challenges and just moments where you feel really lonely and not really understood. Now I'm going to share some of my experiences with you. So I lived in Singapore as an international model, and honestly I had the best time ever in Singapore because people were so nice, everyone was happy and chatty, and obviously there wasn't this language barrier because the majority can speak English. At first I was living in a model apartment with different girls from different countries, and this really helped me feel less alone because I was with a bunch of girls who are also doing the same job as me. But of course we had our differences. There ended up being a lot of conflicts and arguments, and eventually I did move out and find a room somewhere else, and I was living with someone who was from Myanmar and she was very nice, so I became her friend as well. But I ended up making friends with the locals in Singapore. I either met them on jobs or I worked with them. They were local models and they were just very nice people. I think the easiest way to make friends and connect with people is definitely through your industry or through your line of work, because that's where I ended up finding my friends. Also, just being in the same industry, you have a lot in common and you are able to relate. It just opens conversations. So yeah, I would definitely start looking through your work. I then moved into another model apartment, and that's where I met my lifelong friends, people who I have now known for around 5 to 6 years, and we have this amazing friendship because we lived together and we got along so well. We were able to, you know, wake up and just go through our day with each other, and yeah, just living with different people and sharing each other's life stories with each other, I think is a whole new experience that you have to try. It is so worth it, especially if you click with each other, because now I have friends all across the world and you also realize how similar everyone is. People aren't that different. I think wherever you move, it's best to have an open mind and just be willing to understand other people and cultures and just all the differences. For me, it's just about respect, and we are all human at the end of the day. it's very easy to be judgmental and be scared of doing something that you don't normally do. I 100% do believe that it's best to throw away any knowledge that you have of another country, especially if you haven't been there before or you've heard it from someone else, because everyone's experience is very different and they might not know the place at all. Places change like every year, so you should definitely base your opinion on your own experiences. If you move somewhere with prejudgment, I think you will suffer and not really have a good time. You're constantly going to be thinking negatively, which is not going to be good for you, and it's going to be harder for you to try to make friends with locals. So basically in Singapore, I really loved eating. The time I went, there was a lot of cheap places like hawker centers and food courts, and this just made it easier for me to socialize with people because we could go and eat together. Everything was cheap. Even just shopping, buying clothes, I went like 5-6 years ago, so I'm not sure about now. I think Singapore might be a little bit more expensive compared to the time I went, but yeah, everything was really affordable for me, so then I was able to enjoy my life, go out more, go to parties, dress nicely, eat different foods. And yeah, overall I do feel like people in Singapore are a lot happier and friendlier and more welcoming. I don't know whether it's because it's like always sunny or living is probably more affordable than other countries like Hong Kong. Okay, moving on, now I'm going to talk about my experiences in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, I faced many challenges and it was actually quite difficult for me to make friends. At first I was living in a model apartment with 3 other girls, but eventually everyone moved back to their countries and stopped speaking to me. I did, however, manage to make friends with the locals here, especially with the people who are able to speak some English. Sometimes when we spoke to each other and we didn't know a word, we would kind of like use Google Translate and show each other what we meant. But yeah, I was able to pick up on people's body language and just overall vibe. Another thing is that because my job was so flexible, I was able to be spontaneous and say yes to many people and just go out and have fun and do things. In the beginning, this is in 2019, I made a friend with a girl who also had a flexible job, so I was able to spend time at her house, stay over at her place, and we were also able to enjoy nightlife together. When COVID came, my financial situation changed, and this is where I faced a lot of difficulty trying to make friends. Obviously, because of all the restrictions and the rules and stuff, it was very, very hard for me to go out and make friends in public. So I ended up going on an app called Bumble, and I know that's a dating app, but they also have a section for like making friends. I think a lot of people don't actually know this. It's called like Bumble BFF or something, and yeah, you basically swipe looking for girls that you want to be friends with and you read their bio. So yeah, it's basically like the dating app but making friends. But a lot of the girls that I did meet on this app either just wanted a workout buddy or just someone quite temporary, like not a serious friend. And for me, because I left my life in London and I was kind of like willing to settle down in Hong Kong, I really wanted to find a special friendship, just have like a great connection and bond with someone, just like the people that I met in the model apartment in Singapore, or just like my friends in London. Like I wanted something quite strong and something that can be forever. For me, sharing the good and the bad with people creates genuine, real friendships. Like whenever people only talk about the good things, I kind of find it quite fake. So yeah, my point is it was quite hard for me to make friends with people here because a lot of people only wanted to share the good things and just do things for Instagram, and I was looking for someone I can like share my whole life story to and just chill at their place and they could chill at my place. I also had friends who completely cut me out of their life without an explanation, and that hurt me because I was kind of wondering, what did I do wrong? But I realized that some people just need to get rid of some people in their life to create, I don't know, maybe a new better life for themselves. And I've been kind of doing the same, kind of getting rid of people who I don't think are good for me. So yeah, I totally understand why people cut each other out of their lives now. I don't really know why, because I do have a lot of female friends, but somehow in Hong Kong it was a lot easier for me to make friends with guys rather than the girls. A lot of girls, locals or non-locals, would either just treat me as a last option or barely contact me, and I felt like that was quite rude. For example, if they had plans with someone else but that got cancelled, they would then be like, oh, do you want to hang out with me instead, just kind of like fill up their time. And for me, that's definitely rude, and I don't want to be anyone's last priority. So yeah, now I really don't give my time away easily, and I do think it is hard to build strong, meaningful friendships with people. So to wrap up this video, I think it really depends on what your definition of a friendship is and how serious you want it to be. From experience, I'll definitely start looking for those who are in a similar field to you and definitely have the same availability as you. If you have a flexible job like me, obviously some people might not be available in the afternoons, and they might be only available on weekends or evenings, and that might not align with, you know, your time and when you want to hang out with people. So it's definitely good to surround yourself with office workers if you are an office worker yourself, or if you are a freelancer, then it's kind of good to hang out with other freelancers as well. Another thing that you can do is join Facebook groups, or maybe Bumble like what I did, or just any other, you know, like running groups or activities. Like I know people go hiking together, go running together, go cycling together, so you could join those groups as well. Even though my experience in Hong Kong kind of sounds quite negative, I did actually meet a really nice person on Bumble, and she is also from London and the same age as me. We don't work in the same industry, but we had a lot of common interests, like our gut health, and we had mutual friends back in London, and there was just so much that we could talk about. And she's traveled a lot as well, so we were able to share some of our experiences. I've been friends with her for like 2 years now. She's introduced me to a bunch of her friends because she is also a social butterfly, and yeah, we are both very easygoing, flexible people. So yeah, I think if you do want to make friends with people, it's definitely good to have an open mind. Get to know someone and listen to them and ask a lot of questions, and don't make everything about yourself. And yeah, you can't always get along with every single person in the world, but there are a lot of people, surprisingly, that you will really get along with. And I do think it's really important to step out from your comfort zone. I think that's the only way you're gonna grow and mature and find out stuff that you didn't even know before. Learn things about yourself. You're basically like opening a new door in your brain, or like a new chapter in your life. My point is, you never really know until you push yourself to get to know others, and who knows, like me, you might find lifelong friends. Okay, so I'm really curious. I want to know if you've ever lived overseas, or if you are currently living overseas and you are trying to make friends, or you already made a bunch of friends, and how has your experience been? Has it been really difficult? Has there been a lot of positivity? Or maybe you are planning to move overseas and you have a ton of questions. So yeah, comment down below if you have any questions for me. I'll be so happy to answer. I hope I can do more videos like this where I just talk about life experiences and cultural things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!